On this Wellness Wednesday, we focus on the menopause revolution and the concierge care trend. Now, it's something all women will experience, and next Monday, Oprah Winfrey is actually hosting a special sit-down on ABC with Halle Berry and Naomi Watts and Maria Shriver to talk about a topic most women say they don't feel prepared for, and that is menopause. Now, this morning, we're talking with Dr. Priya Patel about how concierge care could be a game changer for women going through the change. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
So glad to have you, especially because I think we all need the knowledge genuinely, even for someone in younger age who hasn't necessarily gotten to the steps of menopause. I think we all have the same question of what exactly is it? So let's start there. Tell me the difference between perimenopause and menopause.
So really the difference between perimenopause and menopause is really about timing and sort of the physiological changes that happen in the body. So perimenopause is really the transition phase leading up to menopause, where we start to have a decrease in the ovarian production of estrogen, which starts to lead to hormonal fluctuations, and you start to get some of the early stage symptoms of, leading up to menopause. That can be the irregular cycles, the hot flashes, the night sweats, some of the mood changes, irritability, weight gain.
Okay.
Nothing good.
None of the things that we like to hear.
Nothing good. And then menopause really is just an extension of perimenopause. It's that later stage. The average age is about 51 typically.
Okay.
And it's really defined as not having a menstrual cycle for 12 months.
Interesting.
So that's really the sort of
the time, on it.
So that's kind of how you separate the two.
Interesting. Okay, so why do you think it's such an uncomfortable conversation to have? Is it because life changes hard, body changes hard? Why do you think it's so difficult to talk about?
I think as women, we are just sort of taught and often just deal with things, right? You sort of deal with pregnancy, you deal with having kids, and so we're just taught to sort of survive. Yeah. And so I think, traditionally and, historically, it wasn't really something, it was sort of taboo. Women didn't want to talk about heavy periods out loud. It was sort of embarrassing. It was something we wanted to sweep under the rug.
Right.
So I think now, it's finally like this menopause revolution has happened, and there's a little bit more of, this is a 10-year plus period in women's lives. Like, why are we trying to pretend it doesn't exist, right? This is really impacting women's day-to-day function. So let's talk about it, let's celebrate it, and let's, try to come up with solutions to make it easier.
I always say there's so much power in knowledge, and when you don't talk about something that takes up, like you said, 10 years of your life, a whole decade, and you have no knowledge on it, it becomes scary, and then it's hard to talk about. So let's talk about this concierge care trend, because this is definitely different. Now, there's a lot of frustration that women feel when they're going through a traditional healthcare provider. Tell me why that's different from maybe this concierge care.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately healthcare in general is very insurance driven these days, right? And insurance sort of dictates how long you can spend with a patient, how what services can be provided, what medications will be covered, et cetera, et cetera. And so concierge care sort of takes the insurance component and anybody controlling care out of the picture. And so really it allows unlimited time with patients. They have more direct access. Typically when you call, your doctor will typically call you back, right? Or you're going to get some sort of direct response. And to me, I think the biggest thing is really that I spend, in many concierge practices, I spend an hour with most of my patients, right, at the initial consult.
You can't even imagine getting that at your regular family doctor.
And in my previous practice, which was, insurance-based, I was lucky if I got 20 minutes. Right. And just oftentimes you cannot address everything, especially when you're starting to talk about hormonal changes. It is so multifactorial and so comprehensive. And, when I first started my practice, I thought, what am I going to talk about for an hour? And now I'm like, that's not enough time. Because it really, when you really delve deep and start to look at the whole picture, it's amazing how quickly the time goes.
That is just amazing. So what basically I'm hearing is the concierge care is basically more focused in on directly of what your needs are. It's almost like having a personal therapist, but it's your doctor. Is that right?
I mean, honestly, yes. I think, for the first time, I have the ability to listen to my patients and really kind of discuss with them what their goals are, what their pain points are, and then together we can actually come up with sort of comprehensive plan to solve some of those issues.
Do you think this maybe sets up a perfect empowering environment. It
100%.
gives you a free space to be able to ask all the questions
Yes.
that you want in a time frame where you can think
Yes.
of and, you know, do your research and come prepared, and you can ask 20 questions if you really want to.
100%. And you alluded to earlier, knowledge is power.
Yes.
And so my goal is really for my patients to know as much about their treatment plan as they possibly can.
Absolutely. Someone's probably listening to this right now and they're thinking, I probably need this, or I'm about to go through this, or I am in the middle and I am lost and I need help.
Or I don't know what's happening.
Exactly. Where can they find you so they can get that help?
Yeah, so our website is feminologymd.com, or you can check us out on Instagram, feminologymd.
There we go.
Or how else? Or you can call our office phone number, 469-242-6292.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning
Absolutely.
and having the difficult conversation. We've done it on a public platform, you guys. You can do it with your doctor. And like she said, you can learn more at feminologymd.com or on Instagram at feminologymd. And you can watch the Menopause Revolution right here on ABC Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then the next day on Disney Plus and on Hulu as well.